Well, I feel like I just have to say it. This video might be a little weird. The reason for it is I started making this video probably about 3 weeks ago. I've had my maple syrup bags out for almost a month now because the weather has been unseasonably warm in Minnesota. But we've gotten warm, we've gotten cold, we've been back, we've been forth, and finally, I think now, we can actually start to count on the sap running consistently. So fingers crossed, maybe this week we will actually be able to harvest some sap from the maple trees to make homemade maple syrup. Now, why this video is going to get weird is the first part of this video was several weeks ago, and there's been kind of a gap in between when I started making the video and then this week when hopefully we finish it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to empty out every bag. It hasn't been running consistently, so the stuff that is in there is like over a week old. So I'm just going to dump it out, start fresh. So hopefully tomorrow we actually can have a measurable amount of sap and give us something to hopefully boil down in the next 3 or 4 days. That's the plan. So let's do a loop on the taps and empty them out and get them all freshened up for tomorrow and a new start. Just to give you guys a little perspective on where we're at in the season, today is April 5th. And as you can see, there's a little bit of snow left in the woods. All the snow was gone for a while, and then a little snowstorm came through about a week ago and dumped about another 6 inches on us. So that's in the process of melting this week now. It's going to take a long time at this rate. Almost every tree is running today, so that's a good sign. Finally. Looks like we got a man down over here. Good morning. Do you hear that sound? Birds. I can't say that I've heard birds singing in the morning since last summer or fall. It's been raining for the last 2 days and everything is just a mess. You can see where I kind of got off the driveway a little bit. But the end of the driveway is such a mess. I thought I was going to get stuck coming in yesterday. I had to make a trip to town and getting out and getting in. Getting out wasn't too bad because I'm faced the right way, but I back in so that, because all my tools and stuff are in the back of the van. And oh my gosh, the ruts are getting so big at the end of the driveway that I wasn't sure I was going to get in. So we're going to have to address that when things dry out. Probably this summer I'm going to have to bring in some more class 5 and do a little more leveling. But as you can see, the snow is pretty much all gone. We've got a few little remnants here and there in the shaded areas, but for the most part, oh, that's interesting. I have a little sinkhole where my well was. That's very interesting. Wonder what's going on with that. I'm kind of tempted to dig that up. Wow. Look at that. Wow, that's quite a sinkhole actually. Where's all this stuff going? I wonder if it just packed in there or what? Wow. I think I'm gonna have to get a shovel and investigate that a little bit. Very interesting. Anyway, so I have tried to make a maple syrup video 3 different occasions. And if you've noticed, I haven't posted a video for a while. And the reason is I kept trying to make a video on making maple syrup and the trees wouldn't run. So this is my last attempt at having a video where we boil sap for the season. It's already getting so warm that I don't know if the trees aren't running like they normally do or what, but on all my bags, they're either completely dry or I've got just a little bit of sap in them. Definitely not enough to boil any measurable amount. It's been pretty warm at times during the day and it hasn't been cooling down at night like it really should. So I don't know if the trees are, if they already ran so much when it warmed up that now it's just trickling, or I don't know if it's been so long since I drilled my holes, if my holes are starting to dry up. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm going to leave them for a while, and if nothing happens by the end of this week, I'm probably just going to pull all the taps and call it a bust. Won't be long now and we'll be planting some seeds. Huh. Except this time, I'm not going to get mad this time. Nice. One thing I can tell right now, though, is I'm going to have to probably lift that siding up off of that flashing, because the water will just run down the siding. It'll get trapped on that flashing and just soak up. So I'm probably going to have to stick a nail or something in there just to have a little space. I think we're going to go empty the sap bags, not because the trees are running so well, but because the trees are not really running, and it's going to be about 60 degrees today, and anything that is in the bags right now is probably going to get spoiled sitting in the sun at 60 degrees. So if nothing else, we're going to empty the bags out, and if by some miracle they start running gangbusters over the next day or two, at least we are starting with fresh sap instead of stuff that's been sitting in the bags in the heat for 2 days. But I don't know if I'm even going to have to... Yeah, we're not a drop in that one. These ones don't have a drop in them. Those ones are dry. Man, I guess they all ran in January when we had that little warm-up. Oh, that one's got some in it. We better go empty that one. And it's full of flies. That's lovely. Well, this one in the shade seems to have a little bit in it. Look at all those flies. Good thing we filter this 3 times. But nothing in that one except for a bunch of bugs. Great. Well, I think this year is officially going to be a bust as far as maple sap goes. That one's got a little bit in it. We might as well empty it while we're here. All right, I'll show you how bad the road is. Thought I was gonna get stuck the other day when I went to town. It's drying out a little bit now. I think I'm gonna have to bring in some more class 5 this summer. Try to clean this up a little bit. Part of the problem is, part of the problem is when I put this driveway in, I did it in 2 sections. I did the apron and then I did the rest of the driveway going up to the cabin. And I don't think this area got enough of the topsoil taken off before the class 5 was put on, because it seems like this is an area where the class 5 just continually sinks into the muck. So I think maybe what I'll do is take a shovel and clean up any dirt that's kind of pushed out of the way, and then fill in the gaps with class 5 eventually. Rivy, stay by Dad. So I think what I'll do is take a shovel and clean up all the extra dirt and get that out of there, because it's not serving any purpose other than making mud. And then for everything I take out, I'll fill in with class 5 and go from there. But yeah, it was pretty mucky in here the last couple days when it was raining. Well, I guess some of them are running. I guess I'll leave them out for a little bit. Look at all the bugs in there though. Jeez Louise. Gross. That was running good. Well, that's all we got. Maybe 2 gallons of bug-ridden maple water. Should have had about 20 gallons today. But we don't, because we can't control the weather. So you do what you do. Who got that squirrel over there, huh? Rivy Dog got that squirrel? Woo! That is so good, so good. Not this fall, but the fall before, I was tearing out the herbs of my herb garden, and one of you commented that I should leave them in there, that they would come up the following spring. Well, I never knew herbs to be perennials, so I'd always taken them out. Well, I followed your advice, and I left them over, and I let them overwinter in the herb box, and I looked today, and this is what I see. So this right here was either thyme or rosemary, I don't remember which one, and clearly that one is coming up, and it's doing quite nicely. And then over here is, these ones were actually the chamomile, or the chamomile, as I like to call them, for fun. So it'll be interesting to see if the sage and the other ones come up as well. But yeah, I never knew that herbs would come back. So at least this one will, for sure. That overwintered just fine with the cold temperatures. Very cool. Thanks for the tip. This was just a jig. That one was a tore up piece, and it was just a sample, so. Well, I quit. It's officially over. I'm gonna call the 2024 maple syrup season officially a bust. This whole week, I've gotten maybe 2 gallons of sap out of the sap bags. And when I checked them this morning, they are still dry. They've been dry for the past 3 days. I think it was just too warm, too early, and either the sap ran early or it's just been too warm and it's not running at all. Either way, we've had the taps out for 4 weeks now and we haven't got enough sap to do a boil. So I think at this point, it's safe to say that the 2024 sap season is a complete failure, but you can't control the weather. What are you gonna do? There's always next year, I guess, right? So I think we're gonna wrap the video now. Next week, hopefully the metal for the roof is here and we can get started and get the roof finished once and for all. And then we're gonna probably move on to the deck of the bunker, and then we're gonna move inside and start working on the inside. So we have a lot to look forward to on upcoming videos. As always, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye, tiny cabin. Thanks for the memories. We'll see you in a couple days.